Very good afternoon to all, and welcome back to the course of heat transfer. I hope you all had a very good lunch. Just before lunch, we had finished our discussion of all three standard cases of conduction, and we all derived the all three standard formulae for conduction. That is conduction through plane wall, then conduction through hollow cylinder. Hollow cylinder is like hollow sphere, sorry, hollow hollow pipe or hollow tube, and third case is a hollow sphere. Okay, so all three um, important formulae were derived, and those have to be well understood and well remembered by you, because every now and then you are going to require it to use while solving the problems or while doing some derivations. Now, let me share my screen. If you have any trouble in receiving my voice, if it is not clear or loud or not well audible, you can send your message through chat box. Thereby, I can get the feedback from you, and immediately, if feedback is quick and immediate, then I can immediately take some action against it. So I hope the screen is visible to you. So these are the three formulae we derived, for one for plane wall, the other for hollow cylinder, and third for a hollow sphere. For these, you can take the examples, such as this will be applicable to find the rate of heat transfer across across any plane wall or a plane slab or a flat plate, where where heat transfer is being conducted due to temperature difference, just like this. This shows the heat conduction across the brick wall. It is a wall of any home or any house. It is made up of a brick. It may be made up of concrete. So whenever the temperature difference exists, heat conduction occurs. In the same way, for hollow cylinder, you can consider some heat conduction is occurring from a pipe or a tube which is carrying some hot liquid. Let us say uh, some pipe is there, and it is carrying the hot water or hot steam through it. So inside temperature will be very high, and it is running through the surrounding ambient conditions. So outer surface will be exposed to the surrounding temperature, which is on cooler side, and inside temperature is on very high side. So heat conduction will take place from inside hot surface to outside cooler surface. In that case, to find the heat, that rate of heat transfer from a pipe wall, this equation can be used. This formula can be used. By using this, we can find the rate of heat loss. That means how much heat is being lost to surrounding from a pipe which is carrying the steam, or which is carrying the hot water. So that heat loss can be estimated or can be exactly found by using this formula. In a similar fashion, for hollow sphere, suppose, see, in industries at various factories and facility outlets, some storage vessels are there, and these storage vessels are used to store some fluids, some hot fluids, or some maybe some cold fluids. In that case, suppose some very spherical vessel is there which is storing hot water or hot steam. In that case, due to very large temperature difference between inside surface and outside surface, conduction will happen across the thickness of spherical storage tank, and that heat rate or that heat loss can also be found out using this formula. So in practice, you will find many such applications, many such examples where uh, these formulae will be uh, these formulae will be very helpful and useful to find out the rate of heat transfer. All those things you will come to know when we actually solve number of problems. So, lot of numerical problems are there, which cover all these formulae and all the ranges and all the variations. Now, with this uh, background, let us move further. Now, we are going to discuss the electrical analogy of heat conduction. Now, what happens is, see, uh, whatever formula we have derived here on this slide, uh, here, if you look at the all for all three formulae, there is only a single material we have considered. We have considered a plane wall of a homogeneous single material. If a wall is made up of brick material, that so if the wall is made up of a brick material, the material this is only single, or is only the brick. So only conductivity k, this will be applicable for a brick material only. The same is the case with hollow cylinder. Suppose some tube is made up of copper. uh, the tube or pipe is made up of metallic material such as copper or cast iron, so that this k will be applicable to only that single material. The same is the case for the sphere. So k is in this formulae is for only one material or single material. Now suppose in practice what happens, there are lot of constructions uh, which are made up of combination of several materials. So composite materials are used. So in which uh, 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 not in which a variety of materials are involved. That more than one materials will be there in a construction. So we have to consider conductivities of all those materials. So in that case, these standard formula cannot be used. So to find out the heat transfer rate from such composite structures, or where more than one materials are involved, we have to use some other analogy. So that comes from the basic knowledge of electricity. That is why it is termed as electrical analogy of heat conduction. For example, if you particularly look at the brick wall of any house or any home, it is made up of variety of materials. Only brick is not used because you see, for binding the bricks to build the brick wall, we have to use some cement plaster. We have to use some cements. We have to use some sand. Again, some walls are painted from inside and outside, so that uh, paint material will also be there. So any any uh, any brick wall of any house or any home is always made of a variety of materials. At least three to four different materials are there, and uh, all these three to four different materials constitute together a single unit of a wall. So they form a composite structure. So all these materials are different in nature, so they will have different thermal conductivities. So in that case, only single formula cannot be cannot be used. So uh, for that matter, we are going to use the electrical analogy. Now see, if you consider a simple electrical circuit of wire or electrical resistor, and if voltage is applied across a simple wire, what will happen? Current flow will take place from one point to the other point, from high voltage to low voltage. So so whenever there is a voltage applied across a conductor, current flow will always occur. So delta V is potential difference or a voltage difference, and current flow is electrical, that is I. And for any material, any conductor, any wire you take, there is always some resistance. There is always some some minimum resistance. So that resistance is the electrical resistance, and that opposes the flow of current. So all these three quantities are related like this. Current I is given as current I equal to delta V upon R. That is current equal to potential difference or voltage divided by electrical resistance. So this is applicable for any electrical circuit or any simple electrical wire. When voltage difference is applied across it, current flow takes place and there is some resistance. The same concept, same formula, same concept can be used in conduction also. The same concept can be used uh, for a heat conduction. Let us say heat transfer is Q, and that flows through the material. And we know that heat flows due to temperature difference. Heat flows due to temperature difference. Now see, there is analogy is being set. In electrical circuit, we have a potential difference or a delta V, voltage difference, which that is causing the current flow I. And in case of heat conduction or heat transfer, temperature difference is like potential difference or voltage difference, and that is causing the heat flow. So heat flow Q is analogous to current I, and temperature difference delta T is analogous to uh, potential difference or voltage difference. So these two are analogous. These are not equal. These are analogous or similar. Then in electrical in electrical uh, subject, we have electrical resistance R, but in case of thermal region or thermal aspect, we have material resistance named as thermal resistance. So thermal resistance will be analogous to electrical resistance. Then we can set the equation like this: heat flow is equal to delta T upon summation R thermal, or heat flow Q equal to delta T upon thermal resistance. Now equation 1 and 2 you can compare, and you get to see there is a direct analogy. So current I, heat flow or heat transfer rate is analogous to current I. Delta T, temperature difference, is analogous to potential difference or voltage difference V, delta V. And similarly, in denominator, there is a thermal resistance, which is analogous to electrical resistance R. Electrical resistance R prevents the current flow, this or provides the resistance to current flow. The same manner, thermal resistance provides the material thermal resistance to the heat flow. So from this uh, we can represent this in the form of tabular manner. So electrical current I is analogous to heat conduction rate Q, potential difference or voltage difference delta V, analogous to temperature difference delta T. Electrical resistance R analogous to thermal resistance RTH. So from this, in a diagrammatic way, we can represent these cases. So electric current, whenever there is a current flow through a resistor, and when there is a voltage difference delta V across this point and this point, current I flows through this resistance or through this conductor. The same way we can relate it to the conduction case. So this is a physical case. Let us say some wall is there or some flat plate is there, and there is a temperature difference across this thickness delta T from T1 to T2. This is point 1, this is point 2, and this temperature difference, which is similar, which is analogous to voltage difference. Now this temperature difference is causing heat flow. So heat flow is like current flow. So it is taking place from this point to this point in this direction, and there will be a material resistance that will be thermal resistance of this plane wall or this plate material. So thermal circuit we can set up. Uh, this is electrical circuit. This is thermal circuit. Uh, this plane wall is represented by this thermal resistance. So this zigzag shape is the thermal resistance, and temperature difference is there from this point to this point, and uh, T1 and T2 we can assign, and rate of heat flow or heat flow is passing through this thermal resistance. So in this way, we can any physical case or any real case or any practical case of heat conduction can be represented by this thermal circuit, can be easily converted into thermal circuit, and then it becomes very easy to analyze. We can apply mathematical formulae, and thereby analysis becomes difficult, and we can easily solve the equations to get either the heat transfer rate, or we can find the temperature differences or temperatures at various locations, or in some cases we can find thermal resistances. Now, as in case of electrical circuit, there are two combinations. One is resistances in series, and the other one is resistances in parallel. The same series and parallel concept are applicable or valid in thermal conduction also. So now see, if we take three different conductors or three different resistors, if they are connected like this, one after the other, R1, R2, and R3 in a sequence, so these are, it is said to be resistances in series. So we have three different resistances, R1, R2, R3, and all are connected as shown here. And delta E or delta V, E means EMF and delta V means voltage. Both actually mean the same. So EMF or potential difference when applied across this combination, we get a common current I. Since these are all in series connection, same current flows through R1, same current flows through R2, and same current flows through R3. And equivalent resistance of all these three in series can be given by simple addition. So total resistance will be R1 plus R2 plus R3. This is coming from the knowledge of basic electricity. Nothing there is nothing like a new. So equivalent resistance or total resistance is summation R equal to R1 plus R2 plus R3. Then current I can be found from this, like current I equal to delta E upon R or delta V upon summation R, that is total resistance. Similarly, we can do it for thermal system. Suppose we have three different materials having three different conductivities, K1, K2, and K3, and three different plane walls uh, are made like this, and they are composed as shown in diagram. Uh, okay, so this composite structure is made. There is one material layer, then another material layer K2, and third material layer K3. All three are put together, and they are forming a series combination. And when temperature difference delta T is applied from this phase to this phase for this combination, for this entire composite system, due to this temperature difference from T1 to T4, we are calling it T1, T2, T3, T4 because we have three different layers. So starting at T1, then at the interface between this and this, it is T2. From between second and third plate, the temperature is T3, and last it is T4. So temperature difference delta T will be T1 minus T4, and due to this temperature difference, there is a heat flow across this in a sequence. So it is heat flow is passing through a series combination of K1, K2, and K3. So a thermal circuit can be set up like this. Uh, this K1 material will be R1, that is thermal resistance R1, thermal resistance R2, and thermal resistance R3. All three materials are shown in series, and in between temperatures, these are intermediate temperatures. T1 and T4 are the end temperatures. T2 and T3 are the in between temperatures. T2, T3, and then T4. Temperature difference delta T is from T1 to T4, and same heat flows through this thermal circuit, or through all these materials in combination. So total thermal resistance will be sum of these three resistances in series. So summation R thermal is equal to R1 plus R2 plus R3. So we can find out the rate of heat flow by electrical analogy. So Q equal to delta T upon summation R thermal. So using electrical analogy, what we are doing is we are expressing the heat conduction equation in this form, that is Q equal to delta T in numerator and everything else is in denominator. So apart from delta T, which everything else which is in denominator, it will be equivalent to thermal resistance. It will be equivalent to thermal resistance. So this is just another form of heat conduction equation. So Q equal to delta T upon thermal resistance. So this is a general form of heat conduction equation that we can apply for any case, for any specific case. Now resistances in parallel. So we covered resistances in series. Now we will look at resistances in parallel. So in electrical circuit, if resistances are connected like this, like sideways, and uh, the ends all ends are taken to the common point on one side and the common point to the other side, and when voltage difference is applied across such combination, it will be same for all three resistances, because end points are same, because all three conductors are connecting each other at these terminals. So in this case, what will happen is current will be different through each resistances. I1 will be flowing through R1, I2 will be flowing through R2, and I3 will be flowing through R3. But potential difference, voltage or EMF difference delta E will remain same for all three resistances. Then this can be in this case equivalent resistance is given by 1 upon summation summation r, that is reciprocal of equivalent resistance, is equal to 1 upon r1 plus 1 upon r2 plus 1 upon r3. So reciprocal of total resistance is equal to reciprocal of sum of reciprocals of individual resistances, 1 upon r1 plus 1 upon r2 plus 1 upon r3. And current flow will be uh, total current flow will be the sum of all these three, I1 plus I2 plus I3. Total current is equal to I1 plus I2 plus I3. Then su- such a parallel case can be shown in case of thermal system or thermal conduction or physical system like this. Suppose we have three different plates or three different materials having conductivity K1, K2, and K3. Now these are arranged in this manner as shown in the diagram. So these are arranged in sideways. So and some common sides are taken on one side. All three are common on one side, and at this end also all three are connected together. So this phase is at temperature T1, this phase is at temperature T2, and heat flow is occurring through them. Uh, the temperature difference delta T remains same for all the three materials because their ends are common. So delta T is same for this material, and also for this material. So this can be replaced by thermal circuit like this. Material material 1 will be replaced by thermal resistance R1, material 2 will be by R2, and material 3 will be by R3. Likewise, heat flow will also be different from through these materials. Q1 will be flowing through R1, Q2 will be through R2, and Q3 will be R3. So Q1, Q2, Q3 are analogous to I1, I2, and I3. Just like here, different currents are flowing through different resistances. Here, different heat flows are flowing through different resistances. So these may be same, may not be same. That depends on the values of thermal resistances. Then equivalent thermal resistance of all these three can be taken here. 1 upon summation R thermal is equal to reciprocal sum of reciprocals, that is 1 upon R1 plus 1 upon R2 plus 1 upon R3. So using this formula we can find out the equivalent thermal resistance. We first find this sum and we take the reciprocal of this, then we can easily get the summation R thermal value. Then total heat flow will be the sum of Q1 plus Q2 plus Q3, sum of all these three heat flows. Then we can use this use these values in a general equation of heat conduction, that is Q equal to delta T upon summation R thermal. So using series and parallel logic, what we have to do is we have to get the value of summation R thermal. Temperature difference is anyway available. So it is available, or it is either it can be easily found out, and only we have to calculate the summation R thermal, and when we put these together like this, delta T divided by R thermal, we can easily find the rate of heat transfer in a composite structure or in a composite problem. So this analogy will be very useful while handling the conduction through the composite systems, or when more than one materials are involved in conduction problem. Such analogy we have to use, and then we have to solve the problems, or get to the solution. Such all these formulae will be very useful in our laboratory session also. In fact, there are two to three different experiments are there where we have to make use of uh, all these formulae and all this theory. Then, with this, let us now evaluate the thermal resistances for standard cases. Just like we derived the heat transfer rates for three standard cases, that is for plane wall, for a hollow cylinder, and hollow sphere. In the same fashion, we will now derive the formulae for thermal resistances for plane wall, for hollow cylinder, and hollow sphere. Now see, the diagram is still the same. All the conditions are the same. Conduction is happening. Rate of heat conduction is Q. A plane wall is taken of thickness B, and the temperatures are T1 and T2, and this face area will be A. Face area will be A. So for this, uh, conduction equation is Q equal to K upon B into delta T. Now this can be represented by thermal circuit. So this material of K will be having thermal resistance of R thermal, and it can be shown in the form of thermal circuit. So this this is a plane wall having thermal resistance RTH. This one end at T1 and the other end at T2. Temperature difference is delta T between T1 and T2, and heat flow is occurring like a current flow, just like a current flow. So this is equation 1, and from general electrical analogy we can set up the equation Q equal to delta T upon R thermal. This is a general form of equation 2. Both equations are the same, so we can equate them. Equation 1 and 2 both can be equated. So left hand side is same, right hand side can be equated like this. K upon B is equal to K upon B equal to 1 upon R thermal. See, delta T will get cancelled when we equate them, because it is common factor. What remains is K upon B, which is taken here, and here from this equation it is 1 upon R thermal. So just take the reciprocal. So R thermal, that is thermal resistance, is equal to B upon K, reciprocal of this. So for a plane wall, thermal resistance will be given by B upon K. So this is a standard formula that you have to understand, and you have to remember it well. So thermal resistance for a plane wall will be directly given by B upon K. So R slab or R wall is equal to B upon K. Again we have to use SI units. So B will be in meter, K will be in watt per meter Kelvin or watt per meter degree Celsius, and A area will be in meter square. Now, when we put this all, we get thermal resistance unit as degree Celsius per watt or Kelvin per watt. Degree Celsius per watt or Kelvin per watt. Now the second case of hollow cylinder. Uh, all the conditions are same. I am not repeating all those. We have already seen this while deriving the equation of Q. So inner radius for this hollow cylinder, inner radius is Ri, and inner temperature is Ti, and outer radius is Ro, and outer temperature is Tu. Initially, before this, we had used R1 and R2 notations and T1, T2 notations. Now, as this is the hollow cylinder, uh, we are replacing 1 and 2 by I and O. So I, that is I represents inner radius and O represents outer radius, Ri and Ro, temperatures Ti and To. So this case will be uh, represented like this. Uh, Thermal resistance is there for this wall thickness of the tube having conductivity K. Delta T exists across the thickness. So Ti here, To here, and heat flow is occurring through this. Then for standard case, we know Q equal to 2 pi KL upon Ln of Rho by Ri into delta T, equation number 1. Now see, this ratio is always of outer radius to inner radius. So this ratio will always be greater than 1. It will always be greater than 1 because outer radius greater than inner radius. So Rho by Rho ratio will always be 1, greater than 1. Uh, so so ln of Rho by Ri. So you have to be careful here. Whenever you use this formula, this ratio should be always outer radius divided by inner radius. The general equation is Q equal to delta T upon R thermal. So equate the two. Delta T will get cancelled. What we are left with is on right hand side is taken on left. So 1 upon some R thermal. 1 upon R thermal is equal to 2 pi KL upon ln of Rho by Ri. So this factor is equal to this factor. Take the reciprocal, R thermal is equal to, so this term comes in numerator and this goes down. So R thermal is equal to ln of Rho upon Ri divided by 2 pi KL. So cylinder, the thermal resistance for a hollow cylinder will be given by ln of Rho by Ri divided by 2 pi KL. So all these resistance formula you have to remember so that you can quickly use them whenever required in while solving the problems and while uh, during the derivations. Similarly, we can proceed for thermal resistance of a hollow sphere. Again, same inner radius Ri, outer radius Ro for a sphere. Inner temperature is Ti, outer temperature is To. Thermally, it can be shown like this: R thermal for this sphere material. Heat flow Q is happening through this, and temperature difference is delta T, Ti minus To. Standard formula for a standard case is Q equal to 4 pi K Rho into Ri divided by Rho minus Ri into delta T. Again here, this difference is always outer radius minus inner radius. If you take it Ri minus Rho, then this will be negative. This will be negative. So that will make the answer wrong. So just be careful about this, that this difference will should always be positive one, Rho greater than Ri. So this should be always Rho minus Ri. Then general equation Q equal to delta T upon summation R thermal. Equate the two, we get 1 upon R thermal from right hand side is equal to 4 pi K Rho Ri upon Rho minus Ri. So delta T being cancelled out, we left with these factors. So take the reciprocal. So R thermal is equal to Rho minus Ri upon 4 pi K Rho into Ri. So for a sphere, resistance of a hollow sphere is always given by uh, R sphere equal to Rho minus Ri upon 4 pi K Rho into Ri. So in this way we obtain the expressions for thermal. Morning, sir. बाहेर गेले तो वाटतं, माहिती आहे. हम्म. So in this way, we obtain the expressions for thermal resistances of a plane wall of a hollow cylinder and hollow sphere. Okay. Now let us move further. So this was all about case of conduction. Now let us look at the convection heat transfer and convective thermal resistance. Just like we have resistances for conduction, for convection also there is a thermal resistance. that will be that will be uh, that will be said as convective thermal resistance or thermal resistance due to convection. Convection, we have seen that is a process of heat transfer that occurs between the solid surface and fluid which is surrounding, and due to temperature difference. Let us say some solid surface is there at temperature Ts, and it is surrounded by a surrounding fluid, temperature Tf. Ts greater than Tf, so heat transfer will take place from solid to surrounding fluid. That will be by convection, and this is the surface area of solid. So this rate will be given by Newton's law of cooling that we have covered during the laws of heat transfer. Newton's law of cooling simply says that the rate of heat transfer in convection directly depends on surface area of the body, and the temperature difference uh, between the solid and fluid body. Uh, so the constant of proportionality is replaced by H. So Q is equal to H into area into Ts minus Tf. So H is the constant of proportionality. So H is also known as convective heat transfer coefficient. Convective heat transfer coefficient. Just like we have K, new term called conductivity K in conduction. In convection, we have heat transfer coefficient H. So Q is equal to HA delta T. This is the basic equation of convection. Any convection heat transfer will be given by this basic formula. Q is equal to HA into delta T, that is temperature difference. Then A is surface area. When we put all the things in SI units, we obtain H equal to Q upon A into Ts minus Tf, that is delta T. So Q is in watt, area in meter square, and temperature difference is in Kelvin or degree Celsius. So SI unit of H is watt per meter square Kelvin or watt per meter square degree Celsius. So H and K are quite similar to each other, but they are very different. H is always applicable for fluids, that is for and for convection, and K applicable for all solids, liquids, and gases. Conduct that represents the conductivity or conduction. Um, Now see, H depends on geometry of the solid surface and thermophysical properties of solid and fluid, and also the fluid flow type. H H is not a property of any material, unlike a thermal conductivity K. K, let us say, conductivity is a property of any material, but H, so conductivity values are like fixed or are more or less constant at certain temperature and pressure. But H is never constant. It is not a fixed quantity or fixed property of any material. It will change from case to case. It will change from case to case. So it depends on geometry. It depends on the type of convection. Generally, force convection values are very much higher as compared to natural convection. Natural convection, natural convection heat transfer. Uh, See, and when we will discuss about this H more when we actually start our study of convection. In case of a convection heat transfer, entire study is centered around finding or estimating the value of H. For time being, we will take this H as just numerical value. It will be already available. Now let us see the convective thermal resistance. This is the case. Some solid body at Ts having temperature Ts, and it is surrounded by fluid at temperature Tf. Ts greater than Tf, so heat transfer from solid to liquid or fluid will be by convection. Equation is Q is equal to HA into delta T. This case, convective heat transfer case, can be represented by this general formula, uh, general thermal circuit. So thermal circuit, this RTH is for convection. So this will be convective heat transfer. RTH, when applied between the temperature difference Ts to Tf delta T, heat flow will be Q. So general equation is Q is equal to delta T upon R thermal. So we can equate these two, 1 and 2. Comparing these 1 and 2, we get 1 upon R thermal is equal to HA. 1 upon R thermal is equal to HA. So reciprocal of this, convective resistance RTH is equal to 1 upon HA. So this is very simple. Here we get very simple relation or simple equation. It is very easy to remember for convective heat transfer. Resistance of convection is always 1 upon H into A. 1 upon H into A. Now, uh, now there is the concept of overall heat transfer coefficient. Just like heat transfer coefficient H, which is applicable or valid for convection, we now have to discuss overall heat transfer coefficient. It will be applicable for combined case of conduction and convection. So whenever there is a case of combined case of conduction and convection, we define a new term called overall heat transfer coefficient. I think our time is over today, so we will stop our discussion part for today. We will limit ourselves here, and just let me take your attendance, and then you can depart. Wait for a few seconds. Just a minute. Once your attendance is recorded and well saved, you can then depart. Just a minute. Okay, I think it is done. We will meet again tomorrow. Just make sure that you are joining right on time. It is advisable to you to join few minutes before the actual start of time. Okay, if you join just 5 minutes before, that will be fine. Okay, thank you very much. You can leave now.